All right, how's it going? I'm gonna do a little tutorial on this. I think it might make a little more sense. You can watch me um, go through the steps. I'm just gonna show you what I did with this with the Warrior Princess um, ring here. So I'm gonna edit this just to get in there so we can look at it. Um, Title, each word's got a cap. Permalink, it's gonna match. So we've got Warrior Princess. These are all lowercase with a dash in between. The title is capitalizing each word. Just a rough, whatever you want this to say is going to show up when we actually go to view that product. Um, and then we are going to add the short description. This actually is part of the meta description, and you can see that in here. And that's sort of like what shows up when someone Googles it. So that's where the short description actually comes into play. So these are, like you had mentioned, the key power words. That's what's going to happen in here. And that's also going to show up down here on Google. Um, we're going to have a product image, and then we're also going to have a product gallery. I'm not exactly sure how we want to handle this. I'm willing to entertain some different ideas. One that I had is WooCommerce isn't really going to display, like, if we click on a variation, which I'll show you in a second, it's not going to display an image associated with that variation. So we could either A, just have a list of the gemstones with their colors, maybe just in the lookbook page. We can refer users to that. Or like on these product gallery images, I could just in Photoshop just drop an overlay of what these gemstones are just in text. Just this is whatever name that is. This is whatever. This is denim lapis. So let's think about that. We'll table that for now. Anyways, what I wanted to get into is attributes and variations. So what we need to do first is add attributes. So custom product attribute, I added a new one. Basically, you just type the name of it in here, whatever it is. For example, I use gemstone there. We want to add it for use for variations because that's going to influence what happens down here. We can go and look at what I added in here, and this is the formatting for that. So it's going to be the name, a space, a pipe, a space, and the name again. The pipe is on the shift of the / key above return on the keyboard. It's just a vertical line. You don't need to have the spaces in here. This would work as well. Save attributes. It'll automatically just go ahead and put that space in there for us like that. And then ring size, I've got those added. When we want to make another ring, we can grab this and copy it into the attributes for the next ring, making this set. So that's pretty straightforward. We can just copy this whole product at that point and just change the write-up, change the title and the permalink, go ahead and change the product image and the product gallery images, and you'll have a new ring that you can use for a different product. Same with bracelets and pendants. But I'm going to go ahead and start with all new item here. I don't know what the names of your products are other than like checking in on Etsy. And then I'm also thinking, what do we actually have in the, what do we actually have in the gallery right now? I'm going to grab this off screen. I'm grabbing some content over here. What is the name of this? We're going to go and drop this text in there because that's what I grabbed. We're going to grab this for our title. Once we drop the title in here, go back, do what we're doing with this. bracelet. We can leave that as a small lowercase, excuse me. And then that, this is going to be in bracelets, and we're going to save the draft. That's going to give us, there's our permalink. It already does that for us. What we're going to do when we go back to make a copy of this to turn it into a new item, we're going to edit this and just fix this up to make it match. And then again, this one is all lowercase, the dash in between each word. This is what these are going to look like up there. Now again, because this has a gem on it, we're going to make a variable product out of it. Attributes and variations. So attributes are going to be the different things that people can use to select the particular single item that they're going to want when they're done, and variations, I'll show you how that works in a minute, but we're going to add an attribute, and that attribute is going to be the gemstone. And we are going to use it for variations. Over here, I've got this already set up, so we can grab that from a different, so there's your key with what to do. Enter text and attributes separated by the pipe. The pipe is the above the forward slash key, it's above return, so it shifts to hit that vertical pipe there. But I'm just going to grab those stones from the previous one and save that at this point. After you do one of these functions down here, go ahead and save the draft again. And then what we've got for variations, we want to add variation, which is create variations from all attributes. Go. It's going to do it 50 at a time. This was no big deal. This is going to work. There's only 14 variations because those are the gems. With the ring, I added 19 ring sizes and 14 gems, so I had to run that variations 6 times because it had 266 variations. But here's where we have, there we go. We've got all of our different gems in there. And then if you want to just leave with no default, or just say, hey, turquoise is going to be the default, maybe that's what we're using from the product image. So let's go ahead and set the product image. We have a ton of stuff in here. I'm going to finish grabbing some of these for later. I don't think I have that exact one that I was hoping to have in here. Bummer. You can use this one for now. And in alt text, we want to have just kind of like a rough description. Textured silver bracelets with gemstones. And it said, added saucy jewelry in there too. You can put saucy jewelry up front or behind, either way. But set product image. And then product gallery images, similar sort of thing. I'll show you where these are going to be when it comes time. I'm just going to grab a couple of these. Why does it want me to do those one at a time? I don't know, but we're going to do it. So we have a few. So now in attributes, variations, variation, set regular prices, and go. And our value, $98. Okay. And okay. Yeah, please. Again, that's what it was asking me to do. All right, save the draft, and we should be good. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3 items taken care of. It's categorized. We now have our attributes, which are gemstones, and then the short description is going to give us this guy down here. Let's see, materials. I'm just going to grab this from materials and place that in there. Publish. And now we're going to go and look at the site. Excited. Where are we at here? Lost your page. There it is. Go back to the shop. Bracelets. We have 4 products now. And here's the one we just added. Wide texture cuff bracelet with gemstone. And we can, oh, we've got select options on the front page. Interesting. Yeah, so we'll click on that and we're going to jump in there. There's our text. This has got to be formatted a little bit. And then we have these underneath so we can look at our other variations. We want to make sure when we're adding images to the product gallery, down here, this section, let's try to be sort of conscious about adding the same types. When they go from like a 4x5 to a square, this thing bounces around. It looks really weird. So yeah, let's use kind of just squares or just 4x5s. Probably won't really be that difficult to track that because I'll go ahead and format all the bracelets that are of that type into a 4x5, so it'll show up properly. But then when we're over here, we can click on that and give us citrine. This is what I was getting at too, is that because it doesn't show us like what the citrine one looks like, we might want to have somewhere on the site where the user could see what the different gemstones are, because I honestly don't know, what these are. So there's that. But yeah, that was making a product, and yeah, let's fix this and update that. Cool. So just a quick tutorial there, and that's a lot of what we're gonna be doing for getting products on the site. And I am going to stop babbling now, and yeah, I'll send this a link to this video to you.